so when I first moved here, I thought, oh, this is simple. We'll just be able to offer all of our services online. And then you get out into some of these remote areas and you realize there is no broadband connection out there.
I used to laugh with a friend of mine from the Bay Area because her students could just get on a bus, drive like a half an hour and have a great field trip. Whereas for us, we have to get a bus, drive 2 or 3 hours, not be able to do as much in a day. So if we go to see UC Davis and Sac State and one day would travel, it's a very, very long day.
We were a very strong timber and mining area for many years, and then that all changed in the 80s and 90s. The region has really struggled to replace those blue-collar jobs and those employment opportunities.
Well, less than 20% of the adults in this community have a four-year degree. That also is hard for parents, some parents who never went to college to really understand why that's important. Students will hear, well, I never went to college and I did just fine.
Majority of our families are probably middle income, but we do have a high number of foster youth in the area, and we have a high number of lower income people as well.
In our 5-county area of about 20,000 plus square miles, there is no public four-year higher education institution. So our closest California State University system school is down in Chico. It's about a 75 mile drive from Redding. I refer to it as sort of an education semi-desert. We're not a full desert because we have Shasta College, but to receive that four-year degree, there are more limited opportunities, especially in the public sector.
Recently, over the past 3 years, I've been working with a team on North State Together, which is a grant that was funded through a local foundation.
They've really been working with the county initiatives, so Reach Higher Shasta and Shasta County, Expect More Tehama in Tehama County, which is just south of Shasta County, who are all working on trying to help improve educational outcomes in their communities.
Within Shasta County, back in 2011, we began an initiative that's really a cradle to career initiative that was called Reach Higher Shasta. And our tagline for that has been every student, every option. And they only get there if they are taking a rigorous coursework throughout school, but that doesn't start at high school. We know that that has to start from kindergarten on.
You know, education is moving in a direction where a high school diploma is no longer going to cut it. The information that people are needing now to fill livable wage jobs is going to require at some form higher education, whether it's a vocational school, career technical education program, or a college degree.
Some of the career technical education programs have been very, I'll say, aggressive in developing those partnerships and working closely together to serve the students and make a more seamless transition here to Shasta College from the high schools. And so the example of a fire technology program through Foothill High School is a great example of that.
Right now I'm planning on finishing my ROP program. It's in fire public safety. By finishing that, I am eligible to be hired by CAL FIRE. And then I'm also planning on going to the Fire Academy at Shasta College, so I can get the training there. I don't know if I'll need to, but I plan to anyways. After that, I'm not sure. A friend of mine wants to go to Oregon. I'm actually planning on going with her so I can work fires up there.
When you start talking with middle school kids about this idea of college, they're like, you know, how many more years of school, right? And that's not really appealing, but when you start to ask, what are you good at? What do you like to do? What interests you or intrigues you? And then to start to talk about careers that might allow them to use those interests or skills. And then talk about the schooling that would be necessary in order to achieve. And I think for parents, when they see their kids really interested in something, that helps to change the conversation.
I think that eliminating barriers is always a good first step to make sure that students do have access and equity For example, the SAT, we're going to be giving it on our campus for the first time this year as opposed to a Saturday that you drive to. I think that for our students, specifically in the Anderson area, that is a world that is so unknown to them. Many of our students haven't been out of Shasta County.
The counselors here work very, very hard and really understand their communities and the students that attend their high schools, and have lots of things set in place. And so along with being a counselor, they're going in and providing workshops and teaching all the things they need to do for admissions, whether or not you're A through G eligible, how to fill out your FAFSA, what kinds of information you're going to need. And it's very intentional, and each of the counselors are doing it at each of the Shasta County high schools.
The other thing that they've been doing is promoting dual enrollment, which has been a tremendous help to a lot of our students, in that they'll take a high school requirement at the same time they're receiving college credit for it. And so all that kind of together has delivered a better prepared student by the time they get to college.
So I heard of TRIO back in middle school, but I didn't really think it was going to help me out too much. And then it wasn't until halfway through my junior year when one of my friends here at New Tech told me about how they're going to be going down to Los Angeles and checking out UC Irvine, UC LA, and a few other schools based in the Los Angeles area. And once I heard about that, I was like, I need to join this program because I need to look at what college campuses are like, which one I'd want to go to.
With our support systems like TRIO, Upward Bound, and Gear Up, they have personnel that work directly with our own students as well to make sure that those students are receiving all supports available to eliminate barriers to college access.
I really want to go to UC Irvine because I feel like that's the best school for me, but my mom doesn't want me to go too far from home, so she wants me to go to UC Davis.
I think there's that fear because there are some economic barriers here with many of our families. It's not having access to your child. It's not like you're going to visit every weekend, and so am I going to see my child once a year. I also think that for many of them, there is a fear that they're going to outgrow their family and maybe never come home.
A part of me wants to go, be somewhere in like the LA or Sacramento area where there is a lot more diversity and I can start helping out, fellow Latinos and Hispanics that, want to go to college. But there is a small part of me that also is considering just coming back here and then maybe teaching here, even at this school even.
So you could say something like, we need to fix the equity gaps that we are seeing. If you're trying to fix that, there's almost like this embedded assumption that you're okay with it happening and now you're just going to fix it year after year. But if you come from the framework of we want to prevent that, we want to make sure that those students aren't dropping below in their success rates from an early on option, so there is not a problem to fix by the time they get to college.
What we know about education is what I believe is it's the great equalizer, and it elevates your health and your thinking and your healthy choices, and that can change generations.